Hello, this video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon. Minasan, arigatou gozaimasu. My name is Kurt, and today is the 25th of October, 2023. This is my Good Life Meditation, an exercise that I do each and every morning, a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:38 a.m. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone, which you can find a link to down in the description. I recommend the hardcover edition. I also use this time to reflect on the last 24 hours, including last night, to see how I did with my the challenges and opportunities that I met throughout the day. I prepare for the coming day, and then I ready myself for death. But before I do any of that, I like to read a poem. And today, keeping with Edward Thomas, I'm going to read a poem called Man and Dog, which I read one time through already. Seems to be a kind of a snapshot of what maybe a homeless man, old man, with his dog by the side of the road in relatively fair weather. There were a couple of words here, phrases that I didn't know. The only one that I could actually look up and find the meaning to was the word brawly, which is a slang term, English slang term for umbrella. So imagine the man carrying his brawly with him. Let's read it. Maybe I might have to give this one 2 or 3 passes to see if the full meaning comes out. But like I said, I think it's a man and his old, kind of like a sheepdog type of a little small dog though. Man and dog. 'Twill take some getting, sah, I think 'twill so. The old man stared up at the mistletoe that hung too high in the poplar's crest for plunder of any climber, though not for kissing under. Then he went on against the northeast wind, straight but lame, leaning on a staff new skinned, carrying a brawly, flag basket and old coat, towards Alton, 10 miles off. And he had not done less from Childgrove, where he pulled up docks. 'Twere best, if he had a money box, to have waited there till the sheep cleared a field, for what a half-week's flint picking would yield. His mind was running on the work he had done since he left Christchurch in the New Forest one spring in the 70s, navvying on dock and line from Southampton to Newcastle on Tyne, in 74 a year a soldiering, with the Berkshires, hoeing and harvesting, in half the shires where corn and couch will grow. His sons, 3 sons, were fighting, but the hoe and reap hook he liked, or anything to do with trees. He fell once from a poplar tree tall as these. The flying man, they called him in hospital. If I flew now, to another world I'd fall. He laughed and whistled to the small brown bitch, with spots of blue that hunted in the ditch. Her foxy Welsh grandfather must have paired beneath him. He kept sheep in Wales and scared strangers, I will warrant, with his pearl eye, and trick of shrinking off as he were shy, then following close in silence for what? No rabbit, never fear, she ever got, yet always hunts. Today she nearly had one. She would and she wouldn't. 'Twas like that, the bad one. She's not much use, but still she's company. Though I'm not. She goes everywhere with me. So Alton I must reach tonight somehow. I'll get no shakedown with that bedfellow from farmers. Many a man sleeps worse tonight than I shall. In the trenches, yes, that's right. But they'll be out of that, I hope they be, this weather marching after the enemy. And so I hope. Good luck. And there I nodded. Good night, you keep straight on. Stiffly he plodded, and at his heels the crisp leaves scurried fast, and the leaf-colored robin watched. They passed, the robin, till next day, the man for good, together in the twilight of the wood. Ooh, better the second time. Settling in. All right. Yesterday was a tough day. I just wasn't in good spirits. Whatever I did, I just didn't have the right attitude. I was frustrated from the challenge that I'm facing at work. Disheartened is another way to think of it, another way to describe it. Very disheartened. Motivation shot. And since I don't like wasting time and I don't like earning money when I don't feel like I'm giving good value, I'm frustrated, very frustrated. And I don't see any easy solution to this. But today I'm going to try to do better. I'm going to come up with a catalog of the things I want to do today to make today a useful day at work. I've done this many times in the past. It works. List out the things I'm going to do, and I'll do those things. And if I finish all of those things, then I'll consider that a good day's work done. That's what I'll do. That's the only thing I know how to do. This is not a situation for gratuitous excess, because my spirit and heart are no longer here. Maybe it'll come back, I hope, because I've still got over a year left to go. I got ambushed yesterday with a challenge, and I tried to, more like a principle. I tried to do something about it, but I was unable. I am hesitant to even share it here because it hurts, and I don't want to spread the hurt, but it's edifying too. I was at the beach after work, and I noticed a seagull sitting on the sand not far from me, sitting. Usually they like to stand. Sometimes there's times that seagulls will sit on the sand, but this wasn't one of those times. All the other seagulls were standing, looking out at the sea. Something was up with this seagull, I could tell. It looked healthy otherwise. I went in for my swim, and when I came out, it was there, but something was strange. Or did I notice it flying? I think that was it. I noticed it flying, and it seemed to be carrying something. I noticed I was in the water still, and I was just coming out, and the seagull was being chased by two other seagulls right overhead. It seemed to be carrying something in its foot, which is not like seagulls. They don't usually carry things in their feet. I don't think their feet are made for grasping, which seems strange, dangling like a little fish. I met that seagull on the beach back at the same place that I saw it. What had happened was a pretty sizable fishing lure that looked like a fish, with the little barbs off of it, somehow got tangled in the foot of the seagull, in the webbing somehow, and it was dangling there. And the other foot was atrophied in some way. Something happened to the other foot as well. Something was wrong. It just broke my heart. I'm sure it's breaking your heart as you hear this as well. Imagine the pain of that thing. And the reason it was sitting, of course, was to somehow the feet were in bad shape, and that was what it could do. The seagull seemed otherwise strong and healthy, but I'm sure that this was causing a great distress and pain. So I hatched a plan to ambush the seagull and catch it and, take the thing off. I tried several times and was unable to do so. It's just, like I said, the seagull was healthy and strong, fast and nimble. It saw me coming every time and was off and flying down the beach, and it came back once to that same spot after I had tried to catch it a couple of times, and I tried one more time and failed, and it flew off down the beach towards Laguna Beach, and it was gone. It's been weighing on my mind ever since. And I remembered my principle called the horror show. In fact, it came to mind as soon as I realized what was going on. If someone had been out there, the beach was practically empty. If someone had been nearby, they would have heard me muttering under my breath, "The horror show," like that probably would have sounded like Marlon, like what was his name in Apocalypse Now? The horror, the horror. That's how it felt, and I'm still feeling like that too. I feel like it's just cloying on me, or how I wasn't unable to help it in any way. I was waking up. I was awake in the middle of the night, kind of, and dreaming of having one of those devices like a net gun that you fires off a net, a weighted net, and captures it. I wanted so much to help it. I wasn't able to do so. There was another seagull. 6 months, 8 months ago, I found on the beach all bloodied up. I wasn't able to, I probably could have caught that, but what to do, right? It was a bloody seagull. I was able to get, believe it or not, animal control to come out and that late in the afternoon and retrieve the seagull, which they said that they could help. So that felt better. Anyway, yesterday was a hard day, weighty day. I had an idea this morning to kind of focus my attention on the future. It's fun to do, right? I mean, it gives us sometimes a little relief from the present. Work is stressful and hard. Mostly it's work. It's really hard. I don't want to do it anymore. I will. So I was thinking about maybe trying to focus my efforts on the time over the horizon. I don't like to be one that lives in the future, but sometimes it's fun and better to do that. I know that when we move to Japan, that life will be hard too, in a different way. I'm tempted to do that just as a distraction. Reminded me of my mom when I was thinking about that this morning. Reminded me of my grandmother, Belle, who was a devout believer, and she had painted mansions of all of her family's there were oil paintings of. She had them on the wall one after another. All the mansions of her family would live in heaven. That was her distraction to focus on someplace else. Something we humans do. I wish I'd had one of those. I wonder what happened to all those paintings. Okay, good life. It's 8 objectives are as follows. To be always ready to die. To make good and effective use of time. To develop and maintain good and sound life principles. To cultivate good emotional reactions. To perform good actions. To recognize my true limits and true opportunities. To do just one thing at a time and do the thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, and to keep my balance. My 35 principles are war, reason, homunculus, Anchorhold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, social principle, principle of family, public speaking, temperance, life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be born, the feast of Offal, distraction, agency in the great indifference, the best seat in the house, the restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, the risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the season of philosophy, script writing, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, the principle of fun, and being ready. Okay, as for today, I have a very distinct plan. I usually have all the stuff I have to do in the morning, and I'll do all these. I've streamlined them a little bit. After that, I'll feed my dogs, feed myself, and I'll get started for work. And I'm going to lay out a list of the things I want to do. I'm going to pull out from my main project the things that I really want to focus on, the meetings that I need to have. I'll arrange those meetings. And then I'll figure out how to move forward. I need the scope. The scope definitions is what I need. I'll figure out what are the items of scope. I'll come up with a list of category where the items of scope are, which items I need to work on, and I'll put in the calendar the meetings that I need to have for those. That's all I can do at this point. I did a big job yesterday. I did a good job yesterday. I did a friggin' good job, guy. I don't know why I should be upset about my work. I'm doing great work. Best of my life. Came up with a banger of a test plan yesterday for the project. Very proud of that. ChatGPT helped me too. We worked in a very collaborative sense. So after I do that, that's what I'll do. And then I'll have my personal thing that I need to work on as well. Because I do have my lunch break and I have two 20-minute breaks I can work on. So I have some things I want to address on that front. And then I'll just execute the day. And I will focus on tomorrow. I will focus on the new life to come. Because it's a worthwhile distraction and fun. And I'll have fun with that. And my wife too. And we'll talk. And we'll dream. And we'll plan. And we'll live. Am I ready to die? Are my affairs in order? Yes. Are my relationships sound? Yes. Is my life's work complete? Absolutely. I don't want to die, but I'm ready to die. I'm ready to pass into oblivion without a single backwards glance. So with that, I'll stop. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. And take care, Gary. I will move forward and up. I will rarely stop, and I will never